The IBJJF Pan American Championships were held over the weekend. So for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they kind of do it sort of similar to tennis and golf in a way where they have their Grand Slam tournaments where the Worlds is the big one for them, but they've also got the Pans, they've got the European Championships, and they've got a few other ones around the world that are kind of ahead of the other tournaments as far as their prestige compared to like a Chicago Open, for example. So the Pans I think they're considered probably the number 2 tournament outside of the world. So a big tournament, you get a lot of the best guys in the world to come out there and compete in it. Outside of the black belt division, which is what I'll end on, as far as who won in the black belts, there were some other interesting stories. One of them was that there was an NFL defensive tackle who competed at super heavy for white belt and won the division, which isn't terribly surprising. One of the places that I used to train out in Iowa at the University of Iowa, and we had a guy who had captained the Hawkeye football team at a time, and just going against him, like even guys who were a little more technically skilled, it's just so tough because those guys, especially the linemen, they're really tough to get down, so they're going to be on top. Got really wide bodies, so it's tough to control them, and they're really good at kind of controlling people in front of them, keeping them in front of them, keeping people from getting angles on them, because that's really what the defensive tackles are trying to do. They're trying to get around them. And overall, that makes him really tough. So not really a big surprise that he was able to win at white belt. I think when he goes up to blue belt, he's going to be really difficult to beat there as well. And you win Pans as a white belt, you have to imagine that the blue belt is going to be wrapped around his waist pretty soon. MMA fighter and also an NCAA championship wrestler, Ed Ruth. He has 3 NCAA titles, one of the better wrestlers in America. But now he fights for Bellator. He competed at blue belt at his weight class and got second place. So again, same type of thing where a lot of these wrestlers, when you have such a great wrestling background, you can translate to jiu-jitsu really well, especially the lower belts. A lot of times, like when wrestlers come into jiu-jitsu, they think, oh, I've only done jiu-jitsu for 6 months or 8 months, and I'm already doing so great. But the thing is that when you've wrestled your whole life, that's all mat time. It's not exactly the same type of mat time where you're working the same exact stuff, but you're still working on your balance, you're still working on top control, you're working on positional control especially. So with a guy like Ed Ruth, he's spent his whole life wrestling, and not just that, but he's been exceptionally good at it. So for him to translate well to jiu-jitsu, getting on top of most of the guys and being able to control wasn't a huge surprise. So good things from him. Almost got a gold medal. It'd be cool to see him keep competing. I know afterwards he was talking about how he didn't like competing in the gi as much as he likes no-gi, so maybe it'd be cool to see him do a no-gi tournament as well, see how he does there. You'd figure that would have to benefit him. And then as far as the actual black belt division, I'll just go bottom up. So at Roosterweight, Bruno Malfacini beat Lucas Pinheiro. At light feather, Joao Miao and Jose Tiago closed it out. Miao, I guess you'd say probably got the gold medal in that, but again, a closeout just means you have 2 teammates and they don't fight, and technically they both win. But that's one of the weird things about jiu-jitsu. You don't really have that at wrestling tournaments. Like if you have multiple Iowa wrestlers that are together in the Midlands tournament and they both meet each other in the finals, they're going to wrestle. They're not going to close it out as a team, but in jiu-jitsu you tend to see that a lot. At featherweight, Rubens Cobrinha Charles beat Osvaldo Mozinho. I'm not the best at pronouncing a lot of these names if I haven't already heard them a whole lot. I've seen the name a lot online, but I haven't actually heard it pronounced a whole lot, so not the best pronunciation there in the gold medal match. At lightweight, Lucas Lepre beat Marcio Andre. At middleweight, Otavio Souza defeated Isaac Bahianis, and he won that by flying triangle. At medium heavy, Patrick Gaudio beat Lucas Hulk Barboza. Heavyweight, Leandro Lowe beat Tanner Rice. Super heavyweight, Herbert Santos beat Rodrigo Cavaca. And at ultra heavyweight, Joel Gabriel Hocha beat Gustavo Elias. And in the absolute division, Leandro Lowe won that as well.